Cristóbal García, soy director de PNUC, profesor de innovación de la Escuela de Administración, y es un tremendo honor estar con ustedes acá, iniciando la temporada 2011 del programa Do Future, que estamos lanzando. Eso lo estamos haciendo en un esfuerzo tal cual el esfuerzo del programa Do Future, conjunto a la Escuela de Ingeniería, la Escuela de Administración, la Dirección de Innovación, la Vicerrectoría de Investigación, etc. El programa Do Future, Hacer Futuro, es otro ingrediente, otro componente de esta ecuación virtuosa que estamos armando en el ecosistema de la universidad, donde lo que queremos hacer es convocar a grandes líderes del mundo para que nos ayuden a pensar y actuar sobre el futuro que tenemos como país, como nación, como planeta, como región. Today's presentation
¿Cómo están?
Bien.
Porque aquí mucha gente no habla español, yo continúo en inglés. ¿Está bien? Okay. That's the end of my Spanish. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. And please, you can say slow down, and I will slow down. All right? And thank you for being here. For me, it's very rare for me to be in front of a lot of academics, especially from a diverse population of academia. So for me, it's a pleasure. You did a great job of introducing my resume. It's much easier if you set low expectations before the talk. You should say, he was passing by Chile, we couldn't find a better person, so we just invited him. You should be careful what you listen, that would have been a better introduction, okay? Because now you can only go in one direction, and that is down. Is that okay? So, but thank you. It's a pleasure. I love to be here in Chile. It's a wonderful country, and I have great friends, and you have an alumnus who keeps pulling me back to Chile very often, and it's always a pleasure. Today, the focus is organic, okay? Organic growth. Any company can go buy another company. You don't have to be a genius to go buy another company, okay? Any idiot company can go buy some other idiot company. Is that okay? So that's not difficult. Everybody does it. What is more difficult is to create growth internally, okay? That's a big challenge. And companies are struggling with that. Not just companies. Countries are struggling. So whatever I say today, the title sounds fancy, and actually somebody else picked the title. I was given the title. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some data. And you have to make your own conclusions. I'm just a messenger, right? And I'm going to ask you questions. And I hope it will stimulate a dialogue. Is that okay? And stop me anytime, and we'll have a dialogue. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, that's all. Yeah? And so, like all good academics, I am quite impotent without PowerPoint. Yeah? And I don't know Universidad Católica. So, do your professors abuse PowerPoint? Yeah? A lot? Yeah, they do it, of course. So you have immunity against a lot of PowerPoint slides, right? You have good antibodies inside your system. But I don't want anybody to fall down, so I have a solution for you. Because you have work all day, and it's a long evening, and so to sit here and listen is going to be difficult. So if you do this, it's okay. I'm not offended. Is that clear? All right? So please feel free to do this. So my discussion and my questions, when I kind of really got into this field nearly about 10 years ago, one question kept bothering me. And what was the question? The question was the food fight in the jungle. Okay? And in the jungle, you have apes. And the apes are trying to fight for the same food. Okay? And in the jungle, size matters. Not just in the jungle, you know. All right? So when you think of businesses, it's very similar. Businesses and countries depend primarily on gorillas, and also at times they depend on small and medium businesses. But there is a curious kind of a relationship between these animals. Not just in the jungle, but in business also. Okay? And so it's also the structure of a mature industry where you have a few gorillas, a few chimps, and a few monkeys controlling the market. And I'll tell you what a mature market means. And the only thing I can tell you is that all firms die. That's the only statement I can make for sure. All companies die. It's only a matter of time when that happens. Okay? So companies enter the market, companies leave the market. Companies are born, companies die. Okay? And usually at the end of this life cycle of companies' births and deaths, you have a mature market that is being controlled by a few chimps, monkeys, and gorillas. Is that okay? Now, you can think of this as a life cycle for each industry. All industries go through this cycle. And not only do firms die, to hold leadership in an industry is even more difficult. First is survival is a problem. But leadership in an industry is even more difficult. And you can measure leadership in several different ways. It could be market share, it could be profitability, it could be number of users, it could be number of patents, it could be technological leadership. You can measure it in several different ways. Okay? And what you kind of notice is that if you take the act of putting words to paper, over a 100-year period, every time the technology changed, the leadership changed in the industry. Okay? Not only did the leadership change, 100 years ago, Remington was a gorilla. IBM was a monkey. The monkey beat the gorilla. 60 years later, IBM had become a gorilla. Wang was a monkey. Again, the monkey beats the gorilla. 40 years ago, nobody in this room knew these two words. They were monkeys. Again, the monkeys beat the gorilla. Monkey beats gorilla, the monkey beats gorilla. Gorilla beats monkey, but a monkey comes and beats the gorilla again. Becomes a gorilla, another monkey comes and beats the gorilla again. Okay? Monkey beats gorilla, monkey beats gorilla. And of course, this is not just technology companies, not just for IT sectors. This happens probably also in service businesses also. You see monkeys beating gorillas. Okay. So I said, now, this doesn't happen in the natural world. Do you see monkeys beating gorillas in the jungle? Do the monkeys steal the gorilla's food? Maybe once. After that, the gorilla will kill the monkey. Okay? So it's very strange that somehow, in the business world, do you think I'm just showing you examples that I have picked carefully, or do you think it's a trend? What do you think? Is it carefully picked data points, or are they trends? What do you think? Okay. How old is Coca-Cola? Much more. Okay. What do you think? Is it trends or is it data points? Let me show you some data. Okay? Let me see if in fact these are trends, yeah? So, this is some of the data. The average age of a monkey is around 12 and a half years. Okay? The average age of a large gorilla, a global large gorilla, is about 45 years. The average age of an American, US gorilla is about 38 years. And firstly, becoming a gorilla is very difficult. To become a global gorilla, you have to be a $10 billion company in the Fortune 500, the top 500 gorillas in the world. Just in the US, to become a gorilla, top 500, you have to be $1 billion. These are large companies. Okay? So to become a gorilla is very difficult. To stay a gorilla is also very difficult. The European gorillas are much better. The Latin gorillas and the European gorillas are a little better because the government protects a lot of these gorillas. Okay? But as you are becoming more and more into the free market, do you think it's going to go up or down? The ages of these gorillas. Because not only are the European and the US gorillas coming here, the brick gorillas are also coming here. Is that okay? So you are seeing now the trend of these Brazilian, Chinese, and Indian gorillas coming and taking over Latin companies. Okay, so this is not good news if you're working for a gorilla. Is that okay? What is the role of the monkey? What is the role of the gorilla in the economy? That's the first question. Should we protect the gorillas or protect the monkeys? Should we feed the monkeys or should we feed the gorillas? These are all questions you need to ask. Which one is better for the growth of your economy? Or is it monkeys or is it gorillas? Okay? Because I also go and work with governments. I just came from a meeting in one of the government buildings here. These are questions that they are asking. We have a lot of money and we are feeding monkeys and chimps and gorillas. Are we doing the right thing when we are feeding these people? Okay? Is the challenge clear? Okay? So